on here.
Okay. Quick question, Vic. If you can, any particular theme of this?
Yes, we're shifting gears slightly. Instead of writing a bunch of video games and such, I've decided to go to utilities and programs. And since you asked, here's the Picasso.
Okay, I believe we're live. I believe we're live at the moment.
Yep, we're just live.
Okay.
Yes, we're shifting gears slightly. Instead of writing a bunch of video games, I've decided to go to utilities and programs. And since you asked, here's the Picasso.
Okay, I believe we're live.
Yeah, you might want to mute your TV for a moment.
Okay, well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the June 5th, 2021 Chicago TI User Group online meeting, virtual online meeting. This will be our last meeting of this season. We will not be meeting in July and August, at least not online. We'll probably be having a picnic for the members of the group and anyone else who's interested, and maybe going sailing as well. In the meantime, we're here together. The group is, as you can see on screen, our president, Vic Stirrup. Off screen is our technical director, Jim Mazurek, our broadcast engineer, who's putting this on the YouTube for us, John Shanfield. And I'm here too, yours truly, Hal Shanfield, fair chairman and general dog's body. At any rate, Vic has a very interesting show for us today. As he was just briefly mentioning, he is shifting gears and going to show us some different programs than some of the things that we've ordinarily seen. And with that, I'll turn it over to Vic, and away we go.
Thank you, Hal. This month, like I said, I'd like to try to get into more utilities and less games. And so since you had asked, here's Picasso. If you're unfamiliar with it, Picasso is a graphics, text, and printing program that lets you print out your own newsletters or pages or papers. And I've got Picasso, and I have the help book using Picasso that helps explain a lot about how to use this program. It's rather complicated. We go over here to my notebook. Here's the original ad that came in when I first started using, text comp and TextMed, stuff like that. So they show here that here's your TI screen is this, and that other programs use, but Picasso can use 4 times that size. Now that is pretty much an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, maybe a little short of 1 inch at the bottom. And also for Picasso support, they have Picasso borders, Picasso enlarger that can import TI artist instances or TI artist pics, and it can enlarge and reduce, stretch, and shrink them. Picasso Utilities that are very handy, and of course the Using Picasso book. So we're going to get right into this. Going to load the load program off of disk 1. Of course, I've been so busy this past month that I've hardly had a chance to crack this book open. and use it and practice it. I usually like to get up to speed, be proficient. Okay, the load program has run the loader for Picasso. This is Picasso 2.0. Now that's important because the book talks a lot about if you got Picasso 2.1, this isn't in it. But this is Picasso version 2.0 by Arturo Hino. And you press 1 for Picasso, and a handy function here is pressing 2 for the Picasso to Page Pro 99 converter. So we're going to press the 1 key. So there's the title screen for Picasso itself. Rather fancy splash. Now remember, this is only 1/4, the upper left corner of the page you can work with. So in the book, on the overleaf here, it says Picasso an Overview. A desktop publisher is a computer program that allows the user to set up a poster or newsletter on the screen, letting you see your page as it will be printed. It includes the ability to insert text in various alphabet styles and pre-drawn pictures, and also allows freehand drawing and typing on the screen. Finally, it will let you save the page to disk for eventual printout. This is the Picasso Publisher. Picasso is the simplest to use desktop publishing program to be produced to date. To use it, you first set up your text in TI Writer. Okay, so there's a little preparation here. You have to use TI Writer to set up all your text. It's not easy to do it in Picasso. Leaving spaces and blank lines where you want to put pictures, and save it to disk as you normally would. Then load Picasso. Picasso will accept the text file, stripping out the control characters like line feeds, carriage returns, etc., just as you typed it in. You can then fill in the holes either by using TI Artist Pictures, typing in some titles, or using the many drawing functions in Picasso to complete the document. With very little practice, you should be able to set a full page in no more time than it would take to cut and paste one together. As a drawing program, Picasso offers all the usual functions, such as draw, circle, line, and fill. It also gives you 32 different brushes and 33 textures. You can even zoom in for pixel-accurate cleanup of your drawings and text. Everything you need for creating new fonts, brushes, and textures is built right into the program, and all of your files can be saved for use later on. What could be easier? We recommend that you give the manual a thorough reading before you start. But if you are very familiar with other graphics programs, dive in with both feet and simply use the quick reference guide. Yeah, so I read this manual once over the past week, and so a lot of this is new to me too. So the system requirements: Picasso Publisher will need a 32K expanded memory, a single-side, single-density disk drive, joystick, and an Epson compatible printer. The mini memory cartridge, editor assembler, or any extended basic cartridge may be used to access the program. So loading Picasso, well, we just went through that. You saw it. I use extended basic. It auto loads with the load program. With mini mem or editor assembler, go to console basic and enter the old disk one load, then run. Picasso will load in approximately 20 seconds using any of the above methods. When the logo shows on the screen, function 4 will take you to the top left of the screen, and you will be ready to work. Right? Just to let you see how comprehensive Picasso is, Here's the page on using Picasso that shows all your key shortcuts. So every key here does something. As an example, A is block fill, B is brushes, C is circle, D is draw, F is area fill, G, get file, I, inverse, K, reverse, L is lines, M for mirror, N for textures, B for box, P for printout, R for raise, S to save a file, T, text input, U, erase toggle on and off. Yeah, it lets you back up and erase the last thing you did. However, it seems to also erase everything you did, so you might want to lock the screen every once in a while when you're sure with what you got done. W is your window. T, toggle to move copy. Plus, joystick speed fast. Minus, joystick speed slow. 1 to save a font. 2 to load a font. Why would you want to save a font? Well, you might want to use the graphics program of Picasso to edit a font, make your own custom font. 5, set screen. That locks in the last stuff you've done so you don't accidentally erase it. When you press the erase, it'll only erase it up to the last time you pressed 5 to set it, or 8 to undo a screen. Excuse me. Function 4 clears the screen. Function equal. Now, function equal works in this, but not as a quit the program. It does something else. It gives you your file utility menu. So if you accidentally hit function equal, instead of going, oops, I just lost everything, it just takes you to the file screen. Enter is your font editor. Space is your screen editor. And period is your icon editor. So going through Picasso, page 2 here is the same as the overview of the Picasso program book itself. So again, we're going through using Picasso. Important notice, this manual has been prepared for the commercial Picasso version 2.0. Certain modes of operation such as icons, transparent move, and the ability to save in TI Artist 25 sector format may not exist in the trial versions that preceded 2.0. Okay, it goes again through your system requirements, how to load Picasso, the Picasso work area. The normal screen area for a TI is 256 pixels wide by 192 pixels high. Excuse me here. So let's okay. I was hoping I could put this. Let's move the TI screen smaller. Let's make this screen bigger. Bigger, but not really any higher resolution. All right. The normal TI screen is 256 pixels wide by 192 pixels high. As it shows in this drawing, that's this area right here on the upper left is a normal TI screen. But Picasso, you're manipulating 4 times that area, this whole area here. So pixel area, the work area is 480 pixels wide by 336 pixels tall. This translates into a page of 60 columns or characters wide by 42 lines of text high, or 1/2 of a full 8.5 by 11 inch page. So it'll do the top half. Because Picasso is much higher in resolution than most graphic programs, this translates into much better printouts for your documents. The full width of Picasso leads itself well to headlines and columnized text also. Great looking newsletters are a snap. The number of text lines is based on a 1/8 inch printer line feed. This line feed is important to remember when you are preparing your text files for Picasso. We will go into this preparation later in the manual. The work area may be scrolled left, right, up, or down by moving the drawing cursor to the edge of the screen and maintaining the joystick pressure. The screen will then move in the opposite direction, one row or column at a time. So it shows, take a look at figure 1 here. Figure 2 is a character map of the complete Picasso work area. Okay, so once again, this will show you screen 1, screen 2, screen 3, screen 4. The Picasso drawing functions, it explains how to draw a circle, how to draw, how to fill an area. So again, we go on the next page. The circle, you press C. The center of your cursor is now at the center of a circle, and you do the rubber band trick to pull the edge out to how big of a circle you want, and that's the size circle to draw. You also have box mode, where it will start in the upper left corner, and you do the rubber band trick, and it will automatically draw a box to the edge of your cursor. A third view is ray, where the start of your cursor is where the center point is, and then you can draw individual lines, all using that same starting point. Your fill shows a box here divided into 2 parts. The cursor is on the right side. When you press the fill button, it will fill this completely with the texture you've selected. Now, it's important that the box be completely closed. Otherwise, if it's got a gap or an opening, your fill will, like the ink, will pour out onto the rest of the page. How to use draw, area fill, lines, box, raise, text, and erase stuff you had. And then you have the Picasso Utilities. So give me just a moment here. Because we're on using Picasso. You haven't lost me, I'm still here. All right, we're back. Here's the other 3 booklets that I got included with Picasso. Is Picasso Utilities, the Picasso Enlarger. Okay, so this shows TI artist pictures, how you can have the original picture. In this case, it's a small one. You can enlarge it, or you can enlarge it a little, enlarge it a lot. You can stretch it up and down. You can squash it up and down. You can squash it sideways, or you can ghost it. The advantage of ghosting is it prints only every other pixel. So if you have text under there and you want a big image superimposed on the text, you can do it and still have it visible. Your third item is Picasso borders to make stuff look sharp. I actually printed this one out. Give me a moment here. Excuse me, I'm going to try to adjust this. Brightness is a little too bright.
Vic, I think your initial brightness level was sufficient to actually kind of get an idea as to what the border patterns look like.
Okay, how's this? See, I'm getting, at least on my screen, wherever there's a black line, I'm getting a white line above and below that line.
Yeah, I see that. That may just be artifacting from the video codec.
Okay, I'm sure it is. But anyway, here's the Picasso border. Thank you, James. I'm sorry. Here's the Picasso borders. Now these borders are a little tiny like TI artist instances that are made up of the left corner, the right corner, and the middle, and you just copy and paste, you rubber stamp them. So you can make quite a elaborate looking page with Picasso. Ugh. So, okay, well, going back to the Picasso, using Picasso, there's this ad for Picasso here in the using Picasso Publisher. So where were we? To set the screen, it locks it, so you can't erase it. With undo, clear, you can clear the visible screen. The window mode, let's see, how do we get into window mode? Press W for window. Okay. And then in your window, you have your active functions like a block fill, invert, reverse, mirror, toggle, move. It's a very comprehensive program. You also have a texture fill to where you have a basic texture and they copy this over it. Now here in drawing, here are all your virtual brushes you have, to where you have a point. And if you move the point vertically, you get a line. Now you get a point that's 2 pixels by 2 pixels, 3 by 3, 4 by 4, 5 by 5, up to one that's a pretty big block. Now you have another brush that's a circle. And when you draw it, you get a line, but it's got a rounded top and bottom. Then you have another brush that's a vertical pointing triangle. As you can see here, how it points at the top and it's flat at the bottom. Then for calligraphy, you've got your left-leaning parallelogram. Then you've got a block. And so, of course, these will give you a different shape depending if you're drawing vertically, horizontally. Now here in textures, you've got, it looks like 3 shades of solid black, but then you've got various, not gray, but dot on, dot off, where here it's vertical and horizontal like a checkerboard, here the diagonal, and you get a whole bunch of different textures. So what use are these? Well, here they show doing like a map of the United States, where each state is a different texture. And for something like that, that'd be handy. I think, what's the general theory? You only need 4 different colors to do a map of the United States without having any one state touching another. And here's some ads for Picasso Enlarger. Again, we're in the Using Picasso book. The Picasso Enlarger and the Picasso Borders, where they actually have 3 pages of the different borders. Now here we are on the font editor. This shows a grid, and it shows the capital A and lowercase a. Or you might want to make a double height letter A. Well, Picasso has a bunch of fonts that are built into it, and also more, I think, that you could get after it. All right, now this is not very clear. Actually, it's to my eyes, it's smudged in the book. But this shows a page you could do with Picasso for making a newsletter. Second page. Here you have, notice how you have a headline font up here, a bigger font for the chapter, picture. Again, down here, you got the CompuStore. The address is in a smaller font, printer demo. And here they show like 5 or 6 different fonts in this one page. This page shows a graphic of the tree, the building, such like that. So this program will let you do quite a bit. Now here is a full-sized Picasso page itself, to where they have their pagoda graphic that's pretty good. Here's a map of the United States, a weather map. And again, it shows several different fonts there. It shows the font for the headline, the font for the picture here and the picture here, the font for the text, and this font down here. Then they have this banner here. So all in all, it's a pretty comprehensive desktop publishing. Back in 1980, everybody was into desktop publishing. Boy, that was something that was really hot. So I'm going to go back to I'm going to shrink this page down. There we go. Okay, so we should be seeing the regular Picasso page now. Got that? Okay, so in my loading Picasso, Picasso work area, Picasso drawing functions. Unfortunately, it goes in alphabetical order here. So I'm going to try to do some minor windowing, and then I'll try to actually draw and load a font, and maybe load a page that's already done. I'll show you the page I've already typed in or printed out. Find the command here for window. W for window is on page number 9. And I did go through these manuals earlier. This program is very comprehensive. All right, so we'll press W for window. Oh, there we go. We just moved into window mode. And I'm going to take joystick number 1 and try to move the window. Okay. Now you can see the cursor there is this little yellow dot. All right, now I'm pushing this dot to the right, in the upper right of the TI screen. And you see it's pushing that to the left. Now if I go down, so yeah, so here's all the rest of the work area. So if I press D for draw, there we go. So there's our pencil, there's our drawing device. I press and hold the fire button, and I can move. Oh. Okay, so this is all the way to the right of the screen. We go down. Let's go with a bigger brush. Anybody remember what that command was? Yes, B for brushes. All right, and I'm going to pick. Okay, there's a little C-shaped or U-shaped device in the middle of the bottom of the screen. That must be the size of the brush. I'll press enter. Okay, and now we've got a bigger brush. There we go. So now I'm going to run this down. Okay. And that's the bottom. There's the bottom right of the screen. I'm going to move to the left. Notice how if you move the window when you're drawing, it's only picking it up every once in a while. There's our original screen up there on the top. Okay. There's your lower left corner. And if I move my drawing device up here, all right. So B for brush. We'll go back to our, so you got your diagonals, you got your triangles, you got your square boxes, and it just wraps the screen around again. And here I can move the brush without drawing anything, unless I push the button down and move it. So it only draws when you push the button down. So moving on to the next section, I'm using Picasso. Say we want to, do I move the cursor down here and move that? All right, say we want to clear part of the screen. Or if we want to do some editing, we would press key U to erase. So let me get my draw cursor back. So I'll press U, whoops. I just zoomed in. No, I don't want to save the font. Okay, so if we do letter U, I can erase now. Here's a space bar zooms you in. So the little, it moves the screen around. Your drawing device is always in the middle. So if I press and hold the fire button, I can erase that. And see, there you go, right here where the pen is at, in the lower right part of the original Picasso drawing, I have erased that line. So you can D to draw, and U to erase. I just drew that little squiggle. All right, let's see about clearing the window. We decide we don't like what we see in the window. Going back to our instructions here. Fill, brush the circle area, fill. Okay, F to fill. I've got this little square right here. And say I want to fill that. I can press F to fill. If I press the fire button, there, it fills it. However, if I left an opening there, the ink would have run out of that box and filled in the whole area around it. Function 4 clears the screen. There, we've just erased everything on the screen with the function 4. But here, since I only erased what was visible in the window, we still have the rest of the original drawing that Picasso put up there. And let's see if we have a 8, undo the screen. No, that doesn't seem to do it. Once we've erased it, it looks like it's gone. Nope, it ain't there anymore. Okay. So moving to the upper left again, there's the part of the screen I did not erase. So when you press erase and then click the fire button, it only erases the part of the screen that's visible at that time. Not the entire page. So I'll try G to get a file. Okay, enter load file name. Well, it'd be nice if we knew what the file name was. It's on this disk. but I said I had it, the disc jacket here. Good question. What happened to the disc jacket that I put this floppy in? I don't see it, but we'll have to go back and we'll do a function equal. There we go. 1 to load a text file, 2 for load a graphic file, 3 to overlay a graphic file, 4 to save a current screen, 5 to catalog a disk. Well, let's catalog the disk. Drive 1. Disk drive 1 is spinning. And here's the name of the files that are on this disk. Starting from the upper left, we got font number 1, then going immediately to the right, font number 2, back to the left, font 3, font 4, font 5, font 6. Then we have icons that can be used as big rubber stamps. You can load those. You got the load program, you got the meeting. You got the Picasso loader, Picasso picture, Picasso logo, Picasso B, and sample. So I'm going to try sample. Function equal. Load graphic file. Save current screen. Exit this menu. Press 6 to exit this menu. G to get a file. Let's try sample. Excuse me. It's loading. There we go. Now, a Picasso picture is an 80 sector. A Picasso page is 85 sectors of data. So, of course, you're doing a half of a page here. So let's get back into it. So here's D for draw. There we go. There's our cursor again. It's in the shape of a pen. So I'm going to move this to the right. 99.4A computer. So if you print this out, it will be the size of half a page. So 2 of these files would be 1. 4A, Picasso Publisher, a program to cover all your text and graphic needs. This is actually pretty sophisticated because rather than Picasso shows you everything on the screen that you've got as you're going to print it. If you go do something like Page Pro, this is real slow because it tries to show you your graphics as you're scrolling the picture. And in Page Pro, you can use an abbreviation where it just shows a box with X's in it as a shorthand. So it's much faster on scrolling back and forth. Now we're going down Here's a drawing of the TI home computer with the P box and 2 drives. And then we have the time. This was 1990 when this program came out. So here's a picture of Mr. Cosby when he represented Texas Instruments in advertising for the TI home computer. It says, "I'm a father who owns a TI and proud to see my kids learn." And there we're down in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. That's as far as it goes. Unfortunate reflection off his glasses for his right eye. Yeah, if you remember the ads that Mr. Cosby did for Plato and how heavy it was on education. And I think he got a honorary doctorate from a university for promoting education. So here's all the usual stuff. We can do a D for draw. And let's see now, what was the B for brushes. I'm going to select this one. There we go. And let's make this the fire hose cable a little more realistic. There. That's what the fire hose cable would look like in the real world. So are there any questions about using this program? And we haven't even loaded any fonts or anything. James, John, Hal? I'm going back into the Picasso book here, Picasso Utilities introduction. The Picasso Utilities is a package to allow you to do more with the Picasso drawing program. This package, which consists of 3 programs, many new art files to be used with Picasso. The programs are big fonts, camera ready, and merge utilities. Each of these programs is discussed in depth below. Give you a broad idea of how they interact with enhanced Picasso. Big fonts will allow you to include large titles and text in your Picasso pictures. Camera Ready is utility for printing out your pictures very darkly and evenly so they may be photographically reproduced. And merge utilities are designed to allow you to create new small typefaces for use in Picasso itself. Okay, so that's utilities. Going back into using Picasso, where were we? We do a function equal, load a graphic file. Maybe we should go back to exit this menu. I don't think there's a way of, let me see about undo screen, save file, erase prints, W for window, erase toggle on and off. Okay. Okay, so we're going to go here. Press K. No, error signal. I can't do that. I must be doing something else than what I'm thinking of. Function 4 has cleared the screen. Okay. So now let's see about loading a different font. or we'll catalog the drive again. 5 to catalog the disk, drive 1. Yeah, we got what, 6 fonts here. We got 6 icons. Picasso loader, pick to, yeah, Picasso to Page Pro 99, the Picasso logo, Picasso logo, okay.
Yeah, we've got something called sample and meeting in there as well, which is curious.
I accidentally saved our meeting program on this disk. I guess it's not a write protected.
Yeah, save early, save often.
Yeah, careless of me to do that. I'm over here at the book, and once again, I've got one of my usual loose leaf binders that I put everything in. Here's some pictures of Mr. Spock that I printed out. Here's a printout of the various fonts. Let me move that up there. There we go. Here's a printout of the various fonts. Number 1, number 2 is like a heavier computer-esque type font. Number 1 is the serif type font. Font 3 is an italic. Font 4 is a serif computer-esque font. A serif is the little things that go off the ends of letters rather than just being solid blocks.
Right.
Font 5.
Load some of these so we can see them. They're not terribly visible on the sheet. We can see Spock, but you know, individual small text samples are not so visible.
I can see if I can load a font and then print with it here. So using Picasso, we're going to exit this menu. So let's see now. Print out, raise, save file, text input, erase window. Here we go. Number 2, load a font. So what were those font names? Let's go with, let me tell it where it's at. This one, font -6. Okay. And then we're not going to draw, we're going to write. Which is T for text input. Okay, so on the left there, I wrote the word text in lowercase, and then I pressed the shift key down, and I typed in the word input.
Yeah, so it looks like the lowercase is a smaller, less stylized uppercase font, and the uppercase font is something like magnetic encoded ink font.
Yes, yes. So, gee, I feel real excited. I learned how to do something here. We'll press 2. Let's see now.
You need to probably figure out how to back out of text mode.
Yeah. Save font, load font, text input. What if I press? If I press T again, this is a puzzle. I have to go in the manual.
Yeah, there might be a meta key that you have to hit.
Nice about this manual is it is pretty much a tutorial where it tells you, well, of course, it's using Picasso. I'm sure you've ran across enough of these darn computer manuals where it's like, oh, it's assumed you know how to do all this. This is just a reference. It's like, no, that's like sticking me in an airplane and telling me, we assume you already know how to fly an airplane. This is just a reference. It's like, no, I need a tutorial. So entering text mode. To leave text mode, you must press the joystick fire button. Boy, that wasn't very intuitive.
Wow, that's...
But here it is. I'll press that. And there, we're back into the draw mode. Okay, so if I press T for text. Oh, no, I didn't want that. I have to exit this. Now we want to press number 2, load another font. There we are. Oh, notice the default font they're giving us with that. So that was font number 6.
The program inherited it, inherited the font you loaded, huh?
So we'll go with font number 5. So we have to tell it where it's at. So DSK1. Okay, the disk drive light's spinning. Okay. And how did this work again? Oh, text input. Okay. So alpha lock up. This is alpha lock down. So this is font 5. There's no auto scroll. Yeah, press the space bar for every time you want.
Oh, you probably have to hit the button to get out of text mode.
Yeah.
And then you can probably scroll.
There we go. We're back in our draw. We still got that big blob there. Oh, it's got to be easier for you to see. So,
yeah, so it's kind of cool. A nice little script-like font to make your eyes hurt after reading it for a long time.
Yeah. So number 2, we're going to load. Oh, yeah, here we go. Boy, don't ever load like Jim Peterson's acrylic or Mongolian that he has in the Tiger Cup, because you'll never get out of here. So we want this one, font dash, we're 6.5, let's go with 4. All right, disk drive light spinning. Okay. T for text. Alpha lock up.
But that is sort of a nice feature that it can actually work with displayable fonts, you know, that the VDP can actually display on the screen.
Yeah. So it's treating the 4 windows as one image. Once it's down there, selecting another font doesn't overwrite what you've got there before. So this is the beauty of this program, is if you want, well, like it showed here in the upper left corner, if you want a big font for a banner or a headline, you want smaller font for under captioning a picture, a tiny font for your text. So let's...
it's just actually painting it down to the VDP RAM, I assume, at this
press
point.
the fire button. We're going to 2, load a font. Font 3. Okay. T for text. Alpha lock up. Well, yeah, backspace. You can edit a little bit with this. Backspace and delete. There's font 3. Now we're going this a little bit backwards rather than going 1 to 6. We're going 6 to 1. Press the fire button. 2 to load a font. Okay. Alpha lock up. Oop. What's the T? Alpha lock down. There's font number 2. Gee, font number 2 looks a lot like, oh, difference between font 4 and font 2 is font 2 has a serif for the lowercase rather than just block. Okay, we're out of text mode. We're going to press number 2 to load a font. Okay, alpha lock up, T for text, alpha lock down. Okay, so at the top is, well, here we could actually do that. Now I can't slide this over. When I go to erase this.
Yeah, maybe placing the cursor relative to the joystick pointed position.
Yeah.
Where you go into like, text mode.
It's like a pixel off or half a graphics character.
Yeah, you might be able to futz with it a little bit using going back into draw mode.
Well, for most people, this program will work out good for them rather than using the Printer's Apprentice. Because if you notice on this, every letter falls on the same vertical column. It's it doesn't have like what do you call it, where you change the spacing between the letters on the size of the font?
Justification or kerning?
Kerning or something like that. Yeah, because justification is do you want all the sentences to line up
relative to the line. Kerning is relative to the adjacent characters, if I remember correctly.
So we're going to load a font. Okay. So we're going to go T to type. Alpha lock up. Okay, here we go. Okay, so there's there's all 6 of the fonts that are included on the Picasso disc. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, because here's my printout that doesn't show up very good on the screen, but 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So there it is. So you can. It's pretty comprehensive on doing that. I'm going to go off camera a minute here, and I have to try to keep my notebook straight. On the Picasso borders, it shows 126 files on the Picasso borders disk. And excuse me, I'm trying to get a disk out of a folder here that hasn't been out in like 20 years. All right, we're going to go to the Picasso Utilities disk. And let's see, what was our command for escaping out of this? Pressing the joystick button. There we go. And let's go down to a clear spot of the screen. There isn't one. So this is the bottom. Okay, so we're in D for draw, alpha lock up. Okay. And so how do we clear the visible window again? Circle, draw, fill, get, invert, reverse, lines, mirror, textures, sparks, erase, save file. W window. Function 4. Dangerous command. Clears the visible screen. Okay. So we've just cleared the bottom left corner of it. Okay. Now we can go to, let's see now, load font number 2. All right, now we're working off the utilities disk. Let's see what these fonts are like. Because I never printed these out when I got this program. Now here's a quick way of looking at the font I just loaded. Is I can just go back to press number 2 for get a font. So we'll move up here. What was it again? Text. Okay, so that, boy, that was strange, because on this, I've got the, on this, I had the alpha lock down, and I press, and I got capital letter, alpha lock up, and I got the lowercase. So this utilities disk font number 1 is exactly opposite. Okay, so we'll press joystick button here, and 2 for get a font. So with alpha lock up, alpha lock down, okay, so that's a slightly different font than that one is, that was on the disk itself. The Picasso disk. Let's see now. What's the key? Boy, that was a non-intuitive way of exiting. But how else are you going to exit out of a program that takes every key press and tries to write it down on the screen? This drive light's spinning. Okay. T for text. Alpha lock up. Alpha lock down. Okay, there you go with your cursive. Oh, hang on. I hit the space bar. Oh. Hang on, I accidentally pressed a menu loading a text file, and I haven't loaded it. So I'm going to have to tell it, read text from line 1, and I'm going to have to tell it what the text file name is. I can't seem to back out of this. So I'm trying to find here if I got a gee, what do they call a text file? Oh, well. I'm going to cheat here. Okay, I came up with an error because there is no text file load on this disk. And I don't know what format they use. Text file is just DV80, right? Yeah. Okay. I'm sure you're having fun watching me learn how to use this. So, yeah, so spacebar takes you into magnified mode, and function 4, or D for draw, takes you back out. Okay, so we're going to do a 2, and where are we on? Font 3? Font 4. T for text. Alpha lock down. Okay, again, it was the block lowercase, but a serif heavy uppercase. Okay, we're going to press joystick button again to get out of text. Press 2 for get a font. Font 5. Alpha lock up. Okay, so we got a cursive where the uppercase is in italic. Press the fire button. 2. Okay, here's font 6. That's that computer-esque type code. Press the fire button, 2 to get, and must have typed it too fast. Okay, so font 6 and font 7 look the same. All right. So this one is called font big one. I thought I typed that incorrectly. I sort of assumed this would have been a jumbo-sized font, unless I typed it in wrong. Try it one more time. Alpha lock down. Font. Font. Oh, error. Font big one. Font big numeral 1. 5 sector DV80. I'm getting an error on it. Well, I spend so much time on working on these things. Let's see now. I've got a. I'm going to quit this for a while. Hal, if you're there, if you could make any announcements.
What was that?
If Hal is there, I'll put this up as a screensaver. If anybody can make any announcements. My dog's barking. I have to let him out. Then I'll let him out. So there's going to be about 2 or 3 minutes of time here. I'm not going to be available.
Yeah, Hal, if you want to get on the phone and join us for a few minutes and talk about upcoming things, like you might want to give a fair update and remind everybody that about the meeting schedule. And of course, it may take a minute or two because there is a delay between those of us actively on the Google Meet and those that are watching via YouTube. So I guess this will stand in for Vic's Feed the Meter time that we normally have to deal with when we're meeting at the library. You got to keep to your routine, right?
Yeah.
You got to feel like you got to go off screen and fondle some change for a few minutes, and
Yeah, really. It was always a. It's not the one I wanted to run. It was called Lines, but.
Hal's back for a moment, so I don't know if he wants to do any updates real quick before you get on to
Sure.
the next segment.
I'll do a real quick update on the fair, or I should probably say.
Your routine, right?
I should probably say.
You gotta feel like you gotta go off screen and fondle some change for a few minutes. And you need to mute your TV for a minute, Hal.
Okay, it's my TV is muted now. It's been an excellent demo so far. We've both Harold IV and I have been enjoying watching this, and we've learned a lot. And it makes me want to dig out my Picasso, and I don't know if I have Picasso Publisher, but I certainly would like to get it. Quick update on the Chicago TI International World Fair, and then I'm going to turn it back to Vic. I talked to the library where we hold the fair this year, and or where we usually hold the fair, I should say. And it seems that the library board has not yet reached a decision on whether or not they're going to allow us to have our room in the fall. Now, the date that I have requested is October the 23rd, 2021, but there is no guarantee that that's a date that they will give us. As everyone I think knows who has come to the fair in years past, we have to work around the Northwestern University home football games, because when the Wildcats are in town, there simply are no hotel rooms for miles around, and most people do not want to have a hotel room 20 miles away. And that's happened in the past when we've had a conflict in that date. At any rate, we will be letting everyone know when we have confirmation of that date. The only other dates possible would be deep into the month of November, which is a kind of a cold time around here, or much earlier in the year. And last year, the world was in chaos. So was the home football season, which originally was canceled, and then which was again reinstated on the date that we had reserved at the library. Anyway, that's the update. We will further let everyone who is interested know in an email or on Atari Age or on the Chicago TI site on Facebook and other places where we have a presence about the possibility of the fair. So at any rate, Vic, I think that it's probably back to you now. That's enough for me.
Okay, yeah, thank you, Hal. The world is still in chaos here as it turns around.
Okay, I signed out so we can listen to Vic.
Maybe I'll move to something.
Vic, I think that
Maybe I'll motorize that someday. Okay, so getting back to the Picasso disc. Let me readjust my screens. There we go. So we'll put this. And we're using RXB. I'll take out the floppy disk of Picasso Utilities and put the Picasso disk back into drive number 1 here. Actually, I see I made a minor mistake on the on that. Give me just a moment here to get my act together. So load RXB again, and we'll load the. So those fonts I was running was actually off the wrong disk. That was not off the Picasso Utilities disk. That was off of Picasso itself. So here we'll press 1 to load Picasso 2. I hope you've been having fun watching me try to learn how to use this program. And that was easy. If I can learn it, anybody can learn it. There we go. Okay, we're back in Picasso again. And as we saw before, here's the little yellow drawing pen, alpha lock up to go up. And so we wanted a B for brushes. And here at the bottom of the screen, you see we're working on a little teeny tiny brush. Let's work on a bigger one here, this triangle. Looks like a press the fire button. Okay, we picked that up. Now make our brush a little bit more visible here. So as we move to the right, our old work surface is moving off to the left. And it doesn't scroll completely off, but it does give you a bit of a reference of what you're doing, of what you're trying to do here. So I'll press number 2 to get a font. And the disk I should have been running from was disk number 2. So I'll try disk 2. Font 7. That's why I was getting error messages. So lowercase up. So here's font 7. So it's a nice serif font, where it's got those little squiggles and tails on the letters rather than just being a complete block. Press the fire button. 2 to get a font. Okay. T to type. Alpha lock up. A sideways. So font 6 is a, funny how I press carriage return. It tries to return me all the way to the left side of the screen. So this is a, I guess if you're doing a page and you want the entire page to print out in landscape, wider than it's tall, you would use the lowercase on font 6. So let's see what font 5 looks like on the utilities disk. T to type. Alpha lock up. Okay, so oh, darn, I did it again. Gotta remember to not press carriage return when I'm on the far right side of the window, because it's going to try to return me all the way back to the beginning. So there's font 5. Okay, so I think fonts 1 through 5 are the same on the utilities disk as they are on the Picasso disk, but you got 6 and 7. Okay, so we'll press 2 for get a font. This 2 font. Okay. We'll lower this down another one. T to type. Alpha lock up. Okay, so here's a bigger one. Not as heavy, but it's a bigger than you can see is either 7 or 6 up there. Somehow I think I accidentally typed in the wrong disk number there. Let's go, okay. Yeah, okay. So once again, font 5 here. Okay, so 1 through 5 are the same as they are on the utilities disk. So let me see here. Okay, I think we're done with utilities. The I'd like to show something easy, like just loading a graphic picture in with Picasso. We got so many discs here to go through. There's so many different programs here. I only got so much. Get file, okay. Fire button. Okay, I wonder what it means, load file name. Well, let's look it up. It's command letter G. Window, active, set screen, mirror, copy, brushes. I think we got brushes, text, and loading fonts. Font editor. No, we're not really going to edit a font here. I think there's probably enough fonts out there for satisfy anybody. Get a file. Bringing in title files and full Picasso files saved with S. Okay. Full Picasso files. Okay, so a full Picasso file, as I said, would be 85 sectors. Okay, so there's only one that we have that's called sample. Boy, that's a weird looking one. Yeah, that should have been it. Load text file, graphic file, overlay graphic file, save clean screen, catalog disk, exit this menu. Okay, so we're going to do G to get. I thought that was the whole page. Oh, okay. All right, so yeah, here's the sample file they have, where it shows you dramatically the different fonts you have. We'll window over a bit. We're here at the top. The word computer is in a shadow. The light coming from the upper left. Then we got a nice serif font. Then we got this one with the outlined letters. Then we got a block type font. Then we got a fancy like Victorian or Valentine's Day font. Back to the block font. And then it has the picture. So yeah, so Picasso, yeah, it doesn't have to, like a Page Pro, you tell it to go print something out, and it remembers the location of where you had your text file and where you had your TI artist picture or icon or instance. And you have to have those disks and those drives with those files on it for it to work. So you actually spend a little time copying over stuff to have it work. Okay, so how do we start with a blank screen with nothing on it? Well, I don't know how to do that, but no. I'm not allowed to do that. Not allowed to do that. Oh, function 4, clear the screen. Okay, we've cleared the screen. So, say we want to draw a box. So let's get our drawing device up here. And we would, letter O for box. Okay, there's our cursor. So we don't have anything there. The cursor will start at the upper left corner. Press the fire button, hold it. And as you do the rubber band trick here, you see a blinking box. And you let go of the fire button. Okay, so press the fire button, press and hold fire button. Yeah, I'm not doing something right here. Let's look that up. Next thing here is all your commands. They tell you what page number it's on. So letter O for box is on page number 6. I can go to page 6. Okay. Press O, move the cursor to any corner of the box you want to draw. Press and release the fire button. Then move to the second corner. Oh, okay. So you actually have to draw the box. So we'll start up here in the upper left corner. Press and release the fire button. You know, this is awful tough for me to screen, me to see. Yeah, it should be drawn it there. Go for box. Move the cursor to any corner of the box you want to draw. Press and release the fire button. Then move to the second corner. Press and release the fire button. Then go to the third corner. Press and release the fire button. You may not notice a line until you start for the third corner. Okay, I'm not drawing a box right. Maybe I should try something simpler like a circle. D for draw. C for circle. Okay, this should be a lot easier. Okay, press the fire button, and as you move the cursor in any direction, it will draw the circle. Press the fire button again. Press C, the cursor will change to a small diamond shape. Use the joystick to place the cursor at the center of your intended circle. Press the fire button to begin to move the cursor to the outer limit of the circle. As you can see, a pulsating line forms the outer edge of the circle. Okay. And moves along with the cursor. When the pulsating circle is the correct size, press the fire button again. So press the fire button. Okay. I hit another key. Press the fire button again and the circumference line will be set. Okay, I press this fire button again and I don't see a drawing. So I really don't know, because this is one of the most, oh, there we go. This is one of the most basic things on a drawing program for the TI is the drawing a box in a circle. So this should be the fire button again. And it doesn't really seem to be accepting it for some strange reason. Oh well.
Pushing the fire button?
Yeah. I've moved the circle to the outer part, the size I want it to be, and I press the fire button. And the circle disappears. It's supposed to draw it there. Let's see, I've got it back again.
Are you using the 18A? Is this maybe
Yeah, that's the command they show for doing it. It's I had the same problem with the box. I figured, oh, I wasn't doing it right. And here I am following it. So, gee, we're going to have to write to Asgard Publishing and see what Mr.
Are you running a console with an F18A in it, or are you running a stock console?
Well, this is an F18.
Yeah.
And I just don't know what the artifact is here with that, where it's not drawing. It wouldn't draw it, and it wouldn't. I'm just going through it here. We are page 6 again. How to draw a circle. When the circle is the right size, press the fire button again, and the circumference line will be set. If you want to go to another part of the screen while still in the circle mode, pressing C will allow you to move around freely. Okay, I press C. No, we're still in draw mode here. But let me have that be a smaller circle. I press the fire button, and it disappears briefly. Yeah, press C takes you back, and I press the fire button, and I can draw a circle. Press the fire button again, and it just, notice an air bug here. That ain't working right. So anybody who's familiar with Picasso, if you too have had this problem, let me know. Area fill. Okay, well, let's go try to do something like a area fills. Okay, so we're just going to draw a okay, I must be in some sort of a mode here. I can't even seem to draw with the cursor. I'm holding the fire button down, and it's not drawing. Press B for brush. Let's pick up another shape here. Press hold fire. Nope, I got an error here. We're going to quit.
Maybe it's a pen color issue or something like that. You know, foreground, background color.
Yeah, trying to paint invisible on invisible or something like that. As far as I know, this is only monochrome. Hang on, my doggy's barking to get back in, so I'm going to press 1 here and let him in. Okay, so we're back on Picasso again. I don't know, maybe the program just got hung up there.
Yeah, or it could be like, since you're saying it's monochrome, it might be, foreground, background color in the sense of draw or erase.
Mm-hmm. I thought I was pressing the right key here. Okay, so B for brush. Let's pick up a brush that's a little easier to see. Press the fire button. Okay, we got this. Okay, we'll press C for circle. Lock the center. Press the fire button again. There it goes. All right, so that's just the problem we had. Now we can do a larger circle. So this is nice. It remembers what you had and remembers your center point. So every time you do it, you get concentric circles. So if I want to exit out of this, I press C again. And now I said press C again. D for draw. Now that I can draw a circle, I can't seem to stop. Alpha lockdown. Okay. Now we'll press B for box. No. O for box. B-O-X. Okay, so here's one corner. Another corner. B for draw. Now that I can draw a circle, I can't seem to stop. Alpha lockdown. Okay. So press B for box. No. O for box. B-O-X. Okay, so here's one corner. Another corner. B for draw. Okay. Now that you draw a circle, I can't see.
Did Hal just pocket dial us?
Alpha lockdown. Okay. So press B for box. Good, so you draw a box there. Page 6. O for box. B-O-X. Okay, so here's one corner. Another corner. B for draw. Draw a box there. Okay, so here's one corner. Another corner. I finally got the box command to work. Okay, so it's drawn a box. Now let's say we want to fill this box as one of the textures that's available. So we'll go here for area fill. No, we're not going to fill that. Fill it with a texture. Press N for texture. Here we go. So you see here at the bottom of the screen are textures. So if we want to go with like a brick, you'd select that. And then the cursor is already here. Okay, so we're drawing texture bit by bit. Let's see, like we want to fill that with the texture. Then we go with F for area fill. Okay, press F. And I'm here, and I'll press fire. And here it goes. Now it paints that entire texture. I noticed what it couldn't fill was this little box over here. Okay, so what was that for texture again? N for texture. Oh, wow, there's a whole bunch of them here. I'll go a little slower. Here's just a gray halftone. We're still doing an area fill. So N for texture. Here, we'll go up to our circles. This is handy. Okay, so it's filled that. Sort of missed this bottom part. The N for texture. It picked up that. N for texture. I wonder how it figures out how to fill this space. So it must be using some sort of logic to. Press N for texture again. Here's something that looks like scales. Okay, so now that I learned how to do the circle and the I wonder if there's a way of, let's look at N for texture. They got smaller circles, squares, a checkerboard, a herringbone, something that looks like 2 lanes of traffic here, vertical blocks, square wave horizontal, square wave vertical, all sorts of goofy things. Yeah, so if you look over here, you can see where they've used a lot of these textures on block filling in. The Picasso logo. No, I don't want to save the font. So is that area or fill? A, block fill, okay. Picked up that. But I had a texture there. Block fill, circle, draw. F, area fill. Gotta get the commands right. Okay, so now we're going to fill all the areas here that it can find. Some of this seems a little problematic because it can only do what it can see. Okay. So we've gone through how to load the main program, how to draw a circle, how to draw a square, how to load the various fonts, how to load different size brushes, so the different brush here. Okay. Oh, Now what's going on here, we're using this brush, but we're still using that last texture we picked up. So we have to go back and get our solid black. There we go. All right, so now how we can draw with different textures and different fonts. Oh, here's our stuff we worked on before. I would really like to, okay. We have editors. Okay. So just, okay, let's find a font editor. Picasso Enlarger, Picasso Borders. Yeah, here's an example of using your Picasso Borders. We got the lower left corner, upper left, lower right, upper right, and then you got the actual borders itself. So you can have quite a few distinctive shapes there. Okay, here's our font editor. Ah, okay. So I'll scroll up a bit. So down here, okay, the middle of the screen is always the character, the pixel you're working on. So right now in the middle of the screen is the @ symbol. Now the middle of the screen is the uppercase A. Now the middle of the screen is the lowercase a, lowercase b, lowercase c. So as you load your fonts, you can also go in this editor. If you don't like a particular font, you can change it. And you can make your own font, and then you can save the font under a name that you want. This, the Picasso disc, we already showed how we had 6 different fonts there. Let me see how to back out of the font editor. Okay, and to get into the screen editor, of course, is again space bar. We've zoomed in, and here's everything we were working on. It's all, and you can, draw. Go back D to draw, and you see there in the upper left-hand corner the block we just made. Now let's go over here to the, oh, we're still using that one brush. Let's go to brush. Okay, and now we can go to a solid here, but go to screen editor. Let's see, now how do you erase? Screen editor, press space. Your entire screen is accessible pixel by pixel. The U key is used on the screen editor. Okay, so the letter U key turns the pixels on or off. So now we're turning these off. And go back D to draw, and then you can see there's the area that we were working on. We just erased those pixels there. Okay, file utilities, load a graphic file. Now, if they bothered to tell us to what format a graphic file is. I got the Picasso disk, but it doesn't really say with the it doesn't really say what format a graphic file is, or a picture, or the whole page. I sort of have to guess. So let me look at this. Well, I know sample, they say earlier, a full page of Picasso is 85 sector DV80. So that'll use up your disk in a hurry. Pick the page from Picasso loader logo. Okay. So we're going to find a number 2. Press function equal. Load graphic file. Disk 1. Where did I say that was? Picasso Lodo. K-P-I-C-A-S-L-O-D-O logo. Yeah, got an error there. Okay. So try that again. No, okay, so I guess that's not a graphic file. Catalog the disk, function equal, 5. Drive 1. Yeah, Picasso really didn't give me an explanation of what these different files are. They're sample, we've loaded that. Picasso logo. Yeah, there's a P-I-C-A-S-L-O-G-O. It's there. Doing a lot of stuff, maybe just overdoing it here. So I'm pretty sure the Picasso logo is when you press number 1 here and you get the Picasso splash screen. I think that's their logo. I just couldn't seem to figure out how to load that manually. Okay, load graphic file. It will load any TI artist picture file. You must include the underlined P suffix at the end of the artist file name. Overlay a graphic file. Save the current screen, catalog a disk. Okay, so yeah, I'm sure this is the graphic file. We'll press, we're in draw mode already. Let's go into a clear area. And I'll get another disk in here. I don't seem to have a disk easily available with PI artist pictures on it. But I think I found one with Picasso graphic files on it. So let's try that. So where were we? see if that one works. Jane?
Yeah.
He was just out and in and fed.
Oh, wow. He's really stuffed now.
Oh, did you just feed him?
Yeah. Yes, I did.
Okay, well, the doggy got fed twice because of a lack of communication. So that, I don't know, didn't hang up or crash, but it has save file, load font, icon set. Oh, okay. Function equal. 2, load a graphic file. Oh, that ain't on there. Wrong disk. I think this is a picture of Godzilla. Nope, we got an error on that. All right, let's catalog this disk. Okay. Well, it's got files on there. I guess I'm not. Now it's hung up. Okay, I'm having problems with the computer here. It's not a TI demo. We'll just reset everything.
Yeah.
Well, it's like trying to learn how to draw a box and draw a circle. And the commands seem to be the same as for TI Artist or YAP or everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm going to tidy up a little bit here. Got too many disks all over the place.
It's not working properly.
Okay.
So, yeah. Right.
Ah, okay, we're back again.
Yeah, he's real.
Okay, I don't want to get too bogged down here. Give me a moment. Put stuff away. Our next program we're going to run is called PixPro. And PixPro filled a valuable need on too many different file formats, taking up too much space on your floppy disks. So what PixPro would do would be let you easily convert your TI Artist pictures and such from TI Artist, or as they show here, Picasso, or they show MacFlix, and into a format called Pix. So we'll try here, disk 1. Okay. I'll try reading the README file. So to do this, I'm going to go to the drive letter A on my RAM disk and load boot. And boot's real nice. You've got multiple pages of a menu. You can press enter and you can get the various programs that you have on the RAM disk. So we'll do show a directory, disk 1. And V to view and press enter. Pix. Version 1.3 is the 6th shareware release of Pix, a program which implements a TI-99/4A specific compact color and two-tone picture storage format. This format is typically faster and more compact than RLE for two-color pictures, and the format stores the two colors involved, unlike RLE. This version features display of file size and sectors in the catalog disk function. The specifics of the Pix format have been released and are currently available on various networks and BBSs. In general, it is a format which can be accessed randomly or sequentially and can support pictures with over 4 million pixels. This program is for 256 by 192 and smaller pictures only, but a commercial program, Pix Pro, I thought that's what I had here, is now available from Asgard, handles larger pictures and more file formats. Contact me for more details at the address given in the program. Pix should load from any EA Option 5 type loader, and after the title screen, it prompts the user for a file name of a picture to display. To catalog a disk, type the disk name with the no-pro file name after the period. Pix can display artist, graphics, Pix, Pix 128, and RLE pictures. While the picture is on the screen, if it is a two-color picture, new foreground and background colors can be scrolled through by pressing F or B, respectively, foreground and background. Any other key brings you to the disposition menu. At the disposition menu, you may press enter to load a new picture, or you may save the picture in artist, graphics, Pix, Pix 128, or RLE format by selecting the appropriate menu number. Pix 128 is simply Pix in DF128 format, provided to allow uploading to networks without an X-modem header. Select menu option 3, hard copy, to give your printer name to set a printout of the picture. Once the picture has been saved or printed, you are returned to the load picture prompt. Users are encouraged to distribute this program freely. Please include this file with the program. If you find this program useful, please send $10 of what you think it's worth to the address given on the title screen. Fareware payments will encourage further development of this program, as well as future fareware programs. To date, only one payment has been received. Geez, I'm sorry to hear that. Okay, so I'm going to run identifile. Oh, not found. Because its name is identifile. Okay, here's identifile. We're going to catalog a disk, disk 1. The identifile is cataloging the disk in drive number 1, and it'll come back with what it is. Okay, so at the top of the box here, dash readme DV80 file is text. Canon prop is a Mac Paint picture. Floral is a Pix file. Okay. Okay. McPix is an EA run program file. Mona Lisa, Mac Paint file. Cartridges, Mac Paint. Picasso is Mac Paint. Okay, so everything here except for Floral is a Pix file. I'm trying to exit this, exit the program. Select number 1. We're loading off of the load program on drive number 1. So to load Pix, press 3 here. This drive light's on. Pix. Disk 1. Floral. Okay, identifile just said it's a Pix graphics file. Drive light is on. Ah, okay. So I press the space bar, and it said, what format do you want to save it in? Is TI Artist, Graphics, Hard Copy, Pix, 128, or RLE? Well, I really don't want to save it. Let's load it again. Press Enter twice. It's reloading it again. I think I probably need Pix Pro to load the Mac Pix. Okay. Well, I'll take the disk out of the drive here. Put it back on the jacket. And I seem to have a disk here of other files. So that seems to be the whole picture there. I'm a little confused by that. But oh, sorry, I just put in the wrong words. I think on this disk, I renamed the files if they were in Pix format. The disk drive is on, the light's on, the disk is spinning. Ah, okay. So here's our old friend, the Vitruvian Man. Now this is just showing in the upper left corner. Now I did print these out.
Are you able to scroll?
It sort of crashed on me when I tried to scroll.
Ah.
I'm trying to make some progress here, but I've printed this out already. So that is the upper left corner of our old buddy, the Vitruvian Man. It shows the human body can describe the shape of a square or a circle. Now this was printed out with a program called McPix, which is designed for that. Because if I try to, if I touch the any key, it just gets me back to this menu. Okay, so Pix. Okay, so we're going to try to load Pix mode.
Largely a primitive preview and convert feature.
So here's the Pix Mona, which is a Pix format. It prints out in pretty darn good resolution on the there. So what you're looking at is the upper left corner of what would print out on an 8.5 by 11, filling up about center half the page. I should have using this program. Let's get another one here. It might say, find my docs file here. Okay. Function. Press function 5 to move the picture to the right.
I'm bad.
Oh, guess not.
I'm bad. More? Mm-hmm.
Canon, Mono, PixPart, Pix. Okay, drive light is on, the disk is spinning. So this next one that comes up should be this Picasso picture, not related to the program we were just running, but this one done by Picasso. Okay, again, you're looking at the upper left corner. Now it's one finger in the manual and one on the keyboard. Okay, if you want to save a portion of the picture, if you want to save the whole picture, press function 5 to move the window to the right. Press function 3 to move it to the left. Function 4 to move it down. I don't know, I might be... See, I'm in Pix right now, not Pix Pro. So let's try loading the Pix Pro itself. It's a little confusing where he's got two programs, one called Pix Pro and the other called Pix.
Try before you buy.
Well, I think, yeah, I got both of them here.
Yeah.
So I think what's happening is one of them is a conversion program, and the other's the for converting it to TI Artist graphics.
Sure.
Or you can make something. Yeah, let's try. Let's try one Pix Pro. Otherwise, I'm going to have to load these in Mac Pix. Okay, so we tried this before. We'll switch disks again. Put in the files disk. Pix Pro, and we wanted see if that works. This is always such a learning experience, digging out these discs and trying to relearn how they work together. Drive light's still on. Okay, now let's try it this time. Where function 4, here we go. So here again, we get the window around.
Aha, very good.
So I was using the wrong program. Function 5 moves to the right. Function 3 moves to the left.
It's a TI demo, so you're allowed to do that.
Function 4 moves down.
As the saying goes, failure is always an option.
How do you move it to the left? Function 3 to move it to the left. Well, it's not being very cooperative.
Maybe it's already on the left side all the way.
Well, when it first loaded, it was on the left because you could see that little white border going around. Here's what the image looks like. It's reloading it again. So, yeah, PixPro and Pix was very valuable. And you could get these big pictures. And, yeah, you see how you got the white border at the top and you got a small white border on the left. It was valuable because people had floppy disks. They had single-sided disks. And you got more than 3 graphic files, and you're running out of room on your floppy disks, and you go through boxes and boxes trying to save graphic files. So the idea of Pix was a very compact graphic, and then if you decided to use it in a program, other than just printing it out on a page like this, then you could convert it back into its original format, or you could convert TiArtist into Graphics or PagePro or Picasso formats, rather than trying to find, a way internally of those programs for doing it. So I'm going to try to, function B moves it to the right at 8 pixels. Function S, okay, the function number keys don't work perfectly. Because here we're using the arrow keys, function ESDX. Here's function X, moving us down. Here it is, moving us right. There's the right border, and here we are moving up. Okay, so at function 5 and function 6 and function 7, moved the whole window around, but it didn't really seem to work. Being able to window over to a specific part of the picture is very important. Because if you go to save the picture, you might decide only what is on the screen visibly to save it. And so pressing the Enter key, now what format do you want to save it in? This TiArtist Graphics, a TiArtist Instance, which is the small, like the 8x8 rubber stamp TiArtist uses. So now let's try another one here.
Vic, are these all digitized pictures originally, or do you think they were created with a TiArtist or one of these other programs?
I think this was used with a different scanning program, because the only person I know who could do this by hand is Ken Gilliland, where he could freehand draw stuff. So I do believe these are all scanned and imported to the TI somehow. It might actually say in the docs or README file, or let me look at the manual.
Do we know if there's a scanning program that would automatically convert things to TI format?
Probably the closest thing you can hope for is to convert from something modern to a RLE graphic, which is still kind of a supported target format, and then you could use Pix to convert it. I'm sure there are probably other.
Well, when these files were sent over the internet, there had to be some sort of standardized format, like either BMP, stuff they had before JPG.
Yeah, RLE was a common format used.
Yeah.
Back in the day, Mac Paint was pretty common between computer platforms.
Yeah, that's what this is. I don't know how they quite got it. Maybe they used a modem.
And then there were, all sorts of devices out there. On some platforms, there was a company, I forget what their name was, but they produced a device called Computer Eyes, which was a video capture, a still video capture image device that could basically
we had some
capture black and white, half-toned.
Yeah, we had some modest video capture stuff for the TI.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
That would be interesting.
I think I've seen some hand scanners and things like that get adapted for older platforms too when that stuff became cheap.
We used to have a line scanner, a hand pushed, if that's what the term is, hand pushed scanner that we used more than 20 years ago. I remember using it to try and scan text. I think we also scanned some articles from Micropendium using it, but it was very difficult to do and very difficult to do it evenly. Yeah. The flatbed scanner was much better.
Yeah.
But
generally, I found the old hand scanners better suited for, scanning small clip art, hand drawn illustrations, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Things that you could get in one pass cleanly.
Yeah.
Text maybe if it was, something in a column format that was, not wider.
Yeah, if you could move it evenly. The one we had a little bar that you set, and then you slid the scanner across this bar, but then you had to reset the bar for virtually every line of text. And if you didn't get it just right, you'd clip off the bottom or the top, and it did reproduce what you wanted, but to get it right, you had to do it very carefully, and it was easier to just type the stuff back in than to try and scan something, unless you were doing something that was impossible to type in, or if you were doing, say, Latin, and you couldn't duplicate some of the letters in Latin, then it was better to use the scanner. But other than that, it was just too much work.
Yeah.
Okay, this one says it's encoding, so it must be in a different format. Okay. Oh, here's that floral image.
I think we're getting down to the short strokes here, Vic. Looks like we're getting close to 4 o'clock.
Yep. Yeah, it does. So we ran through Picasso and the 5 different manuals I got with Picasso: the Picasso Utilities, the borders, the other various Picasso utilities. This was Pix Pro for converting images. And actually in this folder, I have a couple other items we haven't gotten to, which was our old favorite that everybody used all the time, the Calendar Maker 99 by Chris Bodrett and Ed Johnson, where you can create a calendar from any month, any year. You could design it, you could lay it out, put notes in it, and if you wanted a picture calendar, you could have it where the top half of the page was a picture and the bottom half. And out of the 10X catalog is here's the original ad I had for Calendar Maker and Calendar Maker Utilities. Yeah, I got a bunch of stuff that we haven't had a chance to actually run through. But Calendar Maker, which is unusual, has an option in it for loading a Picasso image. So here, this will look familiar.
Don't give don't give away all the secrets because it's
Here's that one
something-
picture we saw from Picasso, and here's the July 1988 calendar. And as you can see, I printed out notes for different days, different holidays, different things, images, stuff like that. So the calendar maker, yeah, there's the top half. There's one whole image from Picasso. So, hell, I guess we can probably wind up now.
Yeah, I think we're right at our time limit there, and I don't know what the excuse me, I don't know what the time limit on YouTube is, but I think we're getting kind of close to it. And this will be our last meeting for a couple of months. We won't meet again until September usually. I don't know if that's the plan this year. We can talk about that.
Online or at the Vintage Computer Festival Midwest, which is also in September, or is scheduled to be in September.
Mm-hmm. That would be interesting. If we keep making progress in this pandemic, so that people can once again get together in large groups, it'll be great. And I'm hopeful that the library board, as I mentioned before, will get together, get their heads together, and allow us to have the room that we use every year for the fair. That would be wonderful. And again, the date that we're looking for, the date that we're shooting for, is October the 23rd. But once again, we do not yet have permission to use the room on that date. For that matter, no one has any permission from the library to rent any of the rooms at this point in time. I just spoke yesterday to the library, and they assured me that as soon as the decision is made, they will let me know. And as soon as I know, then we'll promulgate that information and let everybody else in the TI community know. Until that time, we're more or less just hanging around and waiting like everybody else to find out what the future will bring. This has been an excellent demo today, excellent series of demos, Vic. I have learned an awful lot, and I appreciate the program Picasso a lot more now than I did before. I've only used it a few times just for drawing, and the Publisher program is fascinating to me because I still do some writing and still like to find out ways that I can use my TI to publish newsletters and things like that. This is excellent tool. And when you consider its age, it was cutting edge technology, I should say, when it was written back in 1987. It's amazing.
Well, this presentation today is dedicated pretty much to you, Hal, because you've asked for a few months about how about running a episode of meeting on different graphics programs, and you had specifically asked for Picasso.
Mm-hmm.
So I dug out my loose leaf binder that has all my manuals, my discs, my printouts, and I did my best to go through it before the meeting so I could learn how to use it.
Well, I've certainly enjoyed it, and my grandson, who's been sitting here with me the whole time, has also enjoyed it, and I'm sure that a lot of people have seen it today and will see it in the future. It's been perfect to watch on this big screen TV of mine, this 50-inch screen. I've been able to see it much better than I ever have before on my small iPad.
Good. Yeah, the F18, the VGA to USB adapter I've been using to present these videos is a lot sharper than any of the web cameras I've ever used. However, the problem is what's called latency, is it takes half a second at least to produce an image on the PC. So while we get a real nice sharp image, while we get a nice sharp image, it's a little slow for video games and such. But for a graphics program like Picasso, it's just fine.
Well, I guess that's it. I guess we're signed off. We'll see everybody again in September.
You wanna go for
One way or another.